Hello, it's Mrs. Green. This lesson is on adding and subtracting fractions. And in this case, the fractions are going to have the same denominator. So adding and subtracting fractions with the same denominators. When they have different denominators, there's an extra complication, and we'll do that one, I think, in the next lesson. But in this lesson, we're going to assume that the fractions are going to have the same denominator. So here we go with the key information. So already you have your prior knowledge. So you've written down your prior knowledge of adding and subtracting fractions, whatever you already know. Now we're going to get some key information. So key information. All right, so we have the key information for adding and subtracting fractions. So I want you to write down the words, which are to add and subtract fractions with a common denominator. Write the sum, that's not right, it should be the sum or difference of the numerators over the common denominator. So I need to change that from sum to sum. Okay, fixed it. The sum or difference. So sum if you have addition, difference if you have subtraction. Those are the words. Then we have algebra, and then we have numbers. So let's see what that would look like. So if we have numbers, it would look like 3 over 9 plus 5 over 9. You'd add the numerators, rewrite the denominator. So the 8 was the 3 plus 5. In an algebra, that would look like this: A over C plus B over C. This is when we use letters because we don't know what the numbers are. And then subtraction would work the same way. A over C subtract B over C. A minus B over C. If you had numbers with subtraction, like 3 over 5 minus 2 over 5, you would subtract the top numerators, write the common denominator, and get 1 over 5. So you should write your key information in words, numbers, as well as algebra. And then I'll show some examples on the next page. Example 1a, if we have a minus 11 thirteenths plus 8 thirteenths, you're going to combine the numerators, so minus 11, positive 8. Rewrite the common denominator. Now 8 minus 11 is using subtraction. They're different signs, so I have to use subtraction. I'm going to take the sign of the bigger number, so minus 3 over 13 is my final answer. Example 1b, 17 over 20 minus 13 over 20. We're writing the numerator with the proper sign operation in between over the common denominator. 17 minus 13, I use subtraction. Subtracting the smaller from the bigger, I get 4. It's a positive 4 because 17 is positive. Now, this one, I do have a common factor, and you might recognize that I can factor out a 4 from the top and the bottom to simplify this fraction, 4 over 20, to 1/5. You always want to simplify. I could not simplify negative 3 thirteenths. And the last example is going to be a mixed numbers, so it's going to be a little bigger, so I'm going to change pages. Example 1c, 27 and 1/4, subtract 14 and 3/4. I could change these mixed numbers into improper fractions, which would be a lot of big numbers, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use subtraction and keep the whole numbers. So I'm going to borrow. I don't have enough if I write them one above the other. I think we can see. 14 and 3/4 is smaller than 27 and 1/4, but the 3/4 is bigger than the 1/4. So I have to borrow. So I'm going to rewrite this as 26, and I'm going to borrow a whole, which is 4/4, and add it to my 1/4. That's 4/5. Now I'm subtracting 14, not 17, 14 and 3/4. So I can subtract 14 from 26 and get, oh, I don't need to borrow, 2, 1, 12. And then if I subtract 5/4 minus 3/4, that's going to give me 12, and 5 minus 3 over 4, 12 and 2/4, which simplifies to 12 and 1/2. So you can do the same process whether you have a mixed number, an improper fraction, or a regular fraction, as long as the denominator is the same. Your practice application. So you're going to find the sum or difference. You're going to find the sum or difference and simplify if possible. You always simplify. Always simplify. You don't always have to write it as an improper, a mixed number. You can leave it as improper, unless you're told to do that. But you always have to simplify. Always. You just get in the habit of always simplifying, whether you're told to or not. Number 1, 3/10 minus 7/10. Number 2, 5/18 plus 7/18. I'll try to make my handwriting a little better. That's a 10. And number 3, mixed numbers, 19 and 1/4. Subtract 17 and 3/4. Don't forget to do your wrap up. Bye.